Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us today on this very, very hot day. This is going to be the beginning of our health fair that we're going to be having shortly after this meeting. But I'd like to welcome you to our Fullerton School District supporting families through these times of that we have been seeing for immigration concerns. We have a full agenda for you, so we will go through 4 o'clock and then we'll walk on over to the health fair after. My name is Erlinda Soltero Reese, and I am the Chief Academic Officer here in the Fullerton School District. And we are so happy to bring this meeting to you today. Last year, we had a few of these meetings as well, but we wanted to ensure that we were able to bring this to you before school started. So I just want to thank you for being here. We have a couple of assistant superintendents here. We have Dr. Dana Brown that just walked in. She's Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services. And then we have our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Chad Hammett. He is sitting right here. And then walking in with us right now, we have our Superintendent, Dr. Robert Pleca, and he's just joining us. And we have two board members present today. We have Miss Ruthie Hanchett and Miss Vanessa Estrella. So they're here to support us as well. A couple of side information. We have interpretation today. If you need Spanish, we have it on channel 1, and we would have Korean available on channel 3. And then via the Zoom link, we have interpretation as well. You just need to look for the little globe and select the language of your choice. But we are going to go ahead and get started. Here is our agenda for this afternoon, and we want to bring up our first speaker today, and we have Dr. Chad Hammett coming up at this moment right now. And he is going to be going over protocols and privacy for student records and families. Dr. Hammett, there you go.
Great. Thank you so much. Gracias por reunir con nosotros. I am not going to do the whole presentation in Spanish because I want our translators to be able to translate into Spanish and Korean. But I do want to say welcome and thank you for being here today. So we are going to present some more information to you regarding students in our schools. We want you to know that when your students are in school, they're in a safe environment, that they're in an environment where all of our staff, we have our principals, our assistant principals, SSAs, some of our SSAs are here today. We have counselors, we have teachers, we have instructional assistants, all of whom are there to make sure that your children are safe, that they receive a good education, that they're not being teased or bullied or treated any differently. We treat everyone the same and make sure everyone has the most opportunity they can to learn in our schools. Also, your children are going to receive a quality education in our schools. We make sure we assess every child. We teach the California state standards. If your child speaks a language other than English, we provide ELD instruction. We want to make sure that you know that your children are protected under the state law and the federal law to receive a high quality, excellent education. Also, if you're not able to pick your child up from school for any reason, let's say something happens and you're not able to pick your child up, please make sure that you have your emergency card filled out with 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 people that are authorized to pick up your child. That emergency card is a very important document because if you can't be there, we can release your child to anyone that's on that emergency card. If you don't put current names on that emergency card, we can't release your child to those individuals. So it's a perfect time. School hasn't even started yet. you're in the process of filling out that emergency card, please make sure that you put maybe a neighbor, an aunt, a grandma, somebody who can fill out and who is authorized to pick up your child on that emergency card. All right, we have a state law. It's called Assembly Bill 699. And that state law says that students, regardless of their background, are entitled to come to school and not be treated any differently than any other student in school. And the law is very clear in California. Every child who gets brought into the school doors, we treat with dignity, respect, care, and love. So when they come into school, we entitle that they will not be discriminated against based on immigration status. And what's more is we don't even ask about immigration status. We don't know. We don't know where they're from, but what do we know? They're students in our school. That's what we know, and that's what matters most. We also don't deny access or opportunities due to immigration status because, again, we don't ask. We don't know. They're a student. If they're a student, they can participate in any program that we have to offer in our district. We don't collect immigration information. We don't collect information on citizenship. So we don't know, the teachers don't know. Is your child from another country? Are you from another country? Where was your child born? All that they know is this child is another student in their class. And then there's two more pieces that any law enforcement request for records or for information must be reported to the school district. And any requests for immigration information must be reported to our school board. So we have a protocol in place, and I'll go over that in a few minutes, regarding what do we do if an ICE agent were to walk into the front office and say, I want information, or I want to see this child. We have a protocol, which I'll go over in a minute, that aligns with this law, which was passed in July 1, 2018, and what's required under this law. All right. Our board of education, and we have two board members here. Raise your hands, please. Excellent. Has been very proactive in ensuring that our board policy is also in place to keep our students safe. So our board policy, again, modeled after AB 699, says that our schools are safe places for students. Again, all children come to school and are treated with care, respect, love, and given a high quality education. Again, we don't collect immigration information. We also make sure that equal rights are protected. So we don't allow bullying or harassment or name calling. So as a matter of fact, anytime staff hears about any bullying, name calling, harassment, they react immediately, and we take immediate action to ensure that your children are safe. You also, as parents, are informed of your rights for your child to receive a free public education. And we make sure that that's included in our parent handbook. And we send home your rights as well. So you know the education provided to your children is free. You don't pay tuition. You don't have to pay for the education. And it's an appropriate public education. Again, if law enforcement comes, we have a very specific way that we address law enforcement requests for any student records or parent information at our schools. We train our staff on how to address issues with ICE, on how to deal with things if there's a immigration enforcement. Rosanna Fonseca, who's on the side of the room, works directly with all of our offices. She goes out to the offices and trains our office staff on what to do if somebody comes in and says, I want information on this student or this family. And she goes through scenarios on what needs to happen. And then the other thing is if there are law enforcement requests, the superintendent, Dr. Bob Pletka, is immediately made aware, or I'm made aware as the deputy superintendent, and we immediately inform our board. So we are a district that believes in communication. And that's a super important part, that you as families know what's going on. So, as mentioned earlier, Rosanna trains our office staff on exactly what to do and provides scenarios. So, if, for example, if an ICE agent were to come into the office and say, I want to see Chad Hammett's records, the office staff would say, Hi, who are you? Where are you from? Do you have any paperwork with you? And would ask information. And we actually have one office staff member who will talk to them, and another office staff member who will be receiving the information and then communicating with either Dr. Pletka or I that there's someone here requesting student information. We will not release information. So when they want to know, who is Chad Hammett? What class is he in? Can you bring him to the office? They will not do anything. They will not make any action. They will contact Dr. Pletka and I. We will work with legal counsel, and we will ensure that all of the documentation they have is completely legal, and we won't allow anything to happen until we know beyond a doubt we have no other choice. So know that someone just can't walk into the office and say, I want to see your child, or I want to know what your address is, or where was this parent born? We don't have that information, and we don't provide that information to ICE. Also, we will send out information to you that is clear and timely. So, for example, if there is ICE activity on the pathway to school, maybe ICE are out in front of the school or on a busy corner near school, we will send out a message to parents and say, Dear parents, there is some ICE activity today on the corner of, let's go right here on the corner, Orangethorpe and Brookhurst. That way you'll know that if I usually come on Orangethorpe and Brookhurst, maybe I won't go that way. Or maybe I need to send somebody else to pick up my child. We want to make sure that you know when we know if there's ICE activity so that you don't accidentally run into that and end up being in a situation where you can't pick up your children. So you'll hear from us. The message won't be very long. It will be brief, but it will say, there's ICE activity in this area near the school. Please be aware. And if you know that you come that way, or that maybe you should send somebody else, you'll have the information so that you can send somebody else to pick up your children. Okay, enrollment information. Some of you have students new to the Fullerton School District, and when you enroll, we do have to have a birth certificate to prove age, or we do have to have some sort of a document that says your child was born on this date. Our staff does not make a copy of that document. We don't make copies of passports or visas, any of that information. You will fill out what's called an affidavit, where you say, my child was born on such and such a date, maybe, how about today, August 7th, 2020, and my child is this year, this many years old, and you sign it that it's true. The staff will look at the document, they will give it back to you, and we don't keep any copies of any of those documents. So none of your documents are kept in your student's file. So if someone walks in and says, I want the files of Jose, we won't give them the documents, number one, but number two, we don't have any documents on where Jose was born, or we don't have his passport. We don't have a copy of his birth certificate. So we don't keep your documents. If you're concerned, if you say, I'm not sure, but Mr. Hammett, Dr. Hammett, I want to make sure, please come to the office. The office can show you what's in the cume. And there's something in there that makes you feel uncomfortable, let us know, and we'll work with you to get that out of your child's record. The child's permanent record is called a cume. It's called a cumulative record, or a cume. All right, so as I mentioned, we do have to verify that your child's age and place of birth so that we can make sure the state of California does require that so that we know they're the right age. We obviously don't want to put a 5-year-old in 5th grade or a 5th grader in kindergarten. We want to make sure they're in the right grade. And so we have to know that their age is appropriate for their grade level. All right. So don't want to repeat the same information I've already given you, but just to reiterate, here in the Fullerton School District, we are compliant with the laws, with AB 699, with our own board policy. We don't share information. The school offices are trained to not share information, and we make sure that we don't have records and we don't release those records to anyone who would be requesting those if they came to the office. Also, we train our staff. We've trained our SSAs. We've trained our office staff. We will be training our principals and our teachers this year again on how to keep your children safe at school. That's our first priority. We want your children to be safe. And you as parents need to know that your children will be safe. We want you to be able to drop them off and know they're safe, and to pick them up and know that they'll be safe. I did cover this earlier, but just as a reminder, we don't make copies of documents. We don't keep documents, the visa, the birth certificate, any of that inside your child's cume. And additionally, our after-school programs, our after-school clubs, our encore program also does not make copies or keep any of those copies in a child's cume. And we've covered this a little already, but again, the principal, the office manager, the teacher, nobody on campus is authorized to give documents to anyone but you as the parent. You as the parent are the only one who's authorized to see any documents. We don't collect the documents, and additionally, no one is authorized to release them, even if they walk in with court papers, or they walk in and say, I have a badge, or they walk in and do something else. We will not release the documents. They will call Dr. Pletka or I. We will work with legal counsel, and we will only release those documents if a judge says to us, you have to release them. And we would communicate with you the whole way through on that. Also, you're going to be getting a parent handbook very soon, emailed to you. Page 84 and 85 address this parent handbook. All right. Are you going to announce our... Well, I'm very excited to announce we have a special guest with us here today. Didn't expect to see him, but he is here. We have Lou Correa, who is our representative, here with us today. Would you like to say a few words, Mr. Correa? Sorry, not to put you on the spot. No spot. Yeah, and you're used to spots, right? Good to see you again.
See you. Buenas tardes, good afternoon, everyone. Su congresista Luis Correa. Just wanted to talk to my staff a little bit to try to assess where we're at and what the message is today. And I think the previous presentation, la presentación en sus derechos, qué hacer y no hacer, and what to do and what not to do, is very good. What I would add are a couple of things. I got Cynthia Gama from my office here. We do a lot of casework on immigration. It's our primary bread and butter. But right now, it's an interesting time because we have the laws, you have rights, and they're being ignored. I'll be honest with you. Tenemos derechos, pero no los están respetando. Okay. I can talk about the undocumented, how Home Depot, but I would talk about American citizens, okay, being stopped, being held for a week or two until they're satisfied that you're an American citizen. Something, in my opinion, hasn't happened in a very long time, probably since the 30s. So, my advice would be, if possible, try to have an attorney ready to go. Todo el tiempo tengan un abogado bueno que sepa lo que están haciendo. Y hay muchas personas muy buenas con un buen corazón y que son buenos para trabajo. Have an attorney that knows what they're doing. Hire that person. Spend a few $100. Engage that agency, because in the event of an emergency, you're going to have to move quickly. I can tell you just last week, another case, they wanted to move fast. I told this family months ago, hire an attorney. Didn't do it. Called me at 3:00. Something happened. A las 4 lo contrataron. 4:00, they hired the attorney. Now it's a matter of trying to catch up, or we could have done something possibly had we moved on time. Hire an attorney. Know your rights, but hire an attorney. And Cynthia, you're going to come up and say a few words as well. I'm hope. Yes, no, maybe. But the other thing I want to make sure that you understand is all that's going on out there, people with masks, people jumping on top of people without saying who they are, without identifying themselves. This is called terror tactics. Están tratando de asustarlos, asustar a la comunidad. They're trying to scare us into leaving voluntarily. They're trying to scare us into self-deportation. Understand that. It's a terror tactic. In my opinion, it's illegal, but it's happening. But nonetheless, what are you afraid of? ¿Qué le tienen miedo? ¿Qué es lo más feo que puede pasar? Los deportan. Okay. ¿Tienen hijos que son americanos? Tengan el pasaporte preparado. Okay. Así le pasó a mi abuelo en 1930. Lo deportaron con mi papá, ciudadano americano, con mis tíos y tías, ciudadanos americanos. Nos deportaron. Sí sufrimos hambres. Me dice mi papá, tiene 98 años. Ahí está viejito, Nanaheim. Me dice, sí tuvimos hambre. Pero a los 17 años regresó mi papá. Seguimos adelante. No estén terrorizados. Ya saben la situación. Prepárense. Sus pasaportes listos, sus documentos listos. ¿Quién va a ser con sus carros, con su troca? ¿Qué le va a pasar? Hay muchas historias ahorita de nuestra gente que dice, ya me voy mejor, ya me voy. Llegan a la frontera, bienvenidos a México, a ver, ¿a quién está el nombre? ¿De quién está el nombre de este carro? Ay, pues no es su nombre, se lo quitan. Preparados para todo. Pero como les digo, no están deportando los números como ellos dicen que lo están haciendo. Es para asustarlos, para aterrorizarnos. ¿Cómo es de que tenemos que tener esta lectura aquí en una escuela pública donde hay niños? La posibilidad que llegue aquí la migra es cosa absolutamente que nunca se había pensado, pero es puro terror a nuestra comunidad. No tengan miedo, pero estén preparados. Be prepared, okay? Don't be scared. Don't live your lives terrorized. Go about your lives normally. understand the situation, but know the numbers they're supposed to be deporting are not there. The biggest numbers ever of a deportation was under Obama. And he did it without even telling anybody. He just grabbed people quietly. This guy's doing it with a lot of terror, but very few numbers. We're here to help. Estamos aquí para ayudarles, para las preguntas que tengan. También tenemos comunicación con el consulado mexicano y con otros consulados salvadoreños, guatemaltecos. Aquí estamos para ayudarles. Su congresista Luis Correa. Muchas gracias. Ahora unas palabras de Cintia aquí. Yo soy el que me pongo enojado, me sube la rabia, ella es más calmada. Con permiso.
And then just quickly, just because I know the congressman did speak a little bit about how our office is here to serve our 46th district. We do have a casework team in the office, which means that any kind of assistance that an individual will need with a federal agency, we have a direct contact and we can kind of ask questions, apply support on case, expedite if there's like students with DACA applications in the pipeline. We're able to contact the agency directly to let them know, hey, this person's about to lose their job, and kind of have them consider them expediting the process, because I know the times can get very lengthy. But other than that, also, if you have any questions with visas, passports, that was a really big one. And a lot that we've been seeing with families. We have a lot of like mixed status families. And if for some reason they need to obtain a passport, a lot of people don't know this, but if your child is under the age of 16, you do need both parents to sign that passport application. So we do ask you guys if you guys need any help with preparing that application, or if you submitted it and it hasn't been processed, contact our office and we'd be happy to help. We have an office in Santa Ana, and we also have a couple resources in the back.
Thank you. And we also have Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk Silva's office represented. So we have some additional resources there for you as well. And then we have a couple of partners that we have here. First, we have our president, Darlene Naslin. She is the president for our FIDA Teachers Union, showing the support of ensuring that our students are safe. And then working closely with the high school district, we have Dr. Sylvia Kaufman here. She's Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services over there. So we are very well involved in taking care of our students and our families, our community. And at this time, I am going to invite Faith Nori. She is an immigration lawyer and mediator, and she's going to be giving us some updates on the policies and procedures that we have so far.
Hello, everyone. I understand. Can you hear me? Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me here to provide information. My goal is to just provide information, and I hope that the information is useful to you. I've been practicing for over 20 years immigration and family law, and have had been liaison with immigration nationality with ICE and CBP and CIS, which we are going to go through all those agencies. So what I'm going to provide you are information that you may have heard. Some I think that would need more discussion so you have a better understanding of it. And the rest are just for your information to see if you can utilize the information I'm providing here by contacting your own attorney and try to have somebody assist you, okay? First, we're going to start with a little bit of know your right. You may have heard it, but I'm going to go over a few steps of it. When you are stopped by an officer, legally they can ask you for your ID and ask for your name, because identity is always important in order to know who you are. And basically, let's say you had a traffic accident with somebody else and the car was damaged. So officer comes in, they ask for registration, license, registration, and insurance. So if you are in a situation where this is a safe harbor state, so it's supposed to be okay for the officer know that if you don't have, if you're undocumented or not, they're not supposed to put any pressure on you. But you can be in a different county, a county that doesn't see it the same way as perhaps our governor or other people or other representative may see. So if you're in a county where, or a city where they actually enforce immigration, I don't know, let's just say, for example, here, Huntington Beach, then you may have a situation where they would contact ICE if they think that you could be possibly someone that could be undocumented. If that happens, you have to make a decision. If you're undocumented, what happens is that if you provide the information right there and then and tell them who you are, the processing is much faster. They still send you to let's say if you're in LA, they send you to B18, downtown LA, and they process you. But they process you faster because you gave them the information, they have what they need. But if you don't, and you know they're going to pick you up, so you have a choice not to provide that information. And this gives you perhaps time because they have to take you there, fingerprint you, check that out, and find out who you are. And they usually have phone there, so you can call, perhaps collect. If your phone doesn't permit you to call collect, maybe you want to make sure that the phone of your family members gets the collect call, so you can actually get the call and call someone to see if they can assist you. If you are have any status in this country, let's say you have a green card, you shouldn't be afraid to show them that document, because if you don't, you're going to be going all the way to downtown and dealing with that issue. So if you have a status and you don't want to be processed and be harassed, then let them know. Of course, as we see on TV, they're not listening because they all are gung-ho on how many number they can arrest so they can get their bonuses. So you need to know that you still want to keep saying that you have a status, you're legally here, and keep repeating yourself. If you have a copy of the document with you, it will help you because you can provide that. You're supposed to, as a green card holder, always have your green card with you. That's part of the requirements of having a green card. So have it with you. Make sure you have a copy at home in case it gets lost. Warrant. Warrant is important. If they come to the door, they come to school, they come to car wash, they come to Home Depot, the person can ask them, do you have a warrant? Many of the immigration officers provide the paperwork, which is signed by an immigration officer. It doesn't matter if the immigration officer is a supervisor or section chief. They don't have authority to issue a warrant. So the person who can issue a warrant, you have to look and see if it was judicially issued. So it has to have a signature of a judge from a federal court. It's not a state court because immigration is a federal matter. It's not a state matter. So then you have to make sure that warrant is actually issued correctly. If they say I have a warrant from Officer XYZ, too bad. It's not really enforceable. Try to enforce it. So don't open the door. So you can ask them to show you the warrant. You can check the warrant. If you are living with other member of the family who are undocumented, and they come with a judicially issued warrant, which they can rarely get it because they have to show probable cause. They have to convince the judge the reason for doing that. And that's not exactly easily issued. They don't do a mass signature. So if they, let's just say for some reason they got one and they're at your door, then you have family members who are also undocumented. You have to make a decision that if the warrant is just in your name, do you want to go outside and close the door so they can execute the warrant and not harm your family members so they can be picked up? Or whether you want to just resist and then they come into the house and check everybody and take everybody. These are things that you have to consider as a person. It's not, none of them are solution. I'm only providing you information. If you already have a prior deportation, they can reinstate it. In the past, they used to take their time. We used to have time to go to federal court, file emergency, all of that. But now, because immigration is federal, they can take you anywhere in the United States. So once they take you, we really don't know where they're going to send you to process you. So the person can be taken to Florida, to New Jersey, to wherever they have beds. So as such, again, know that if that happens, there is usually a phone. Whether you have to do a collect call or not, you need to understand that your phone should be able to, family members should be able to assist you if they can. Oops, sorry, going wrong. Oops. The other way. So what happens when you're taken in? You're getting processed, fingerprinted, all of that goodies, questions. you may or may not have an option for bond. You're supposed to have an option for bond under specific provisions of the Immigration and Nationality Act. The brief abbreviation is INA. So if you do have that rights, let's say you didn't commit any crimes and you have been here, you're a 245I applicant, you're waiting for your in a backlog to get your green card through your family member who applied for you, you better inform your, somebody, an attorney, as earlier was suggested, so they can go ahead and start the bond for you. The way it works, they can actually, a lot of times the notice to appear that is issued or supposed to be issued is not issued because that's initiate the case. And a lot of times when it's issued, you don't know where the person is in order to go ahead and file for bond. So by keeping this information, they keep you longer and they can make you disappear by sending you to a third country. So that's why it's important. If you have a notice to appear, let your family know. If you have information about where you are through the phone call, let them know where you are so the person can immediately retain someone in whatever jurisdiction you are to help you with the bond hearing. And then you have a process that goes through deportation and all that. A lot of times they coerce people to sign paperwork, give their rights, just don't sign anything. And so now I'm going to go over what are the options. Let's say these options that I'm going to go over them are available to undocumented people as well, parents and children. So you need to listen to some of them and see if it applies to you. If you think it applies to you, seek an attorney to assist you. One of the options is Violence Against Women Act. Let's say you are an abused person and the abuser is a U.S. citizen, whether it's your husband, your mom, dad, brother, sister, your child. You go ahead and you file that with immigration and you, it has to be those parents, son and daughter, lawful permanent spouse. Those are the relation, apologize. So you have to make sure that you have that covered. But if you are the perpetrator, that means they have charged you with Penal Code 273.5. That is deportable offense. So you can't just say, well, the state court or the PD or the defense attorney says, oh, it's nothing. You just take a few courses. No, it's not the same for you. That is deportable offense, even if it's a misdemeanor. So you need to make sure you don't agree to it. There are options of U visa. The U visa are for individuals who, in this case, it is a non-immigrant visa, but it turns into an immigrant visa. You can turn this into a green card. That again is if you have a qualifying crime to report. Domestic violence is one of them, and then I have list of qualifying crimes. So if you become a witness to the police, to the investigators, and you provide information, then they sign a form, and that form I-918B is signed, you file it with immigration because it says that they're cooperating in prosecution of this individual or this criminal. And that gives you a U visa because they know you don't have a status. So as a witness, they're protecting you with that visa. And then you can eventually, after 3 years, apply and get a green card. This could be, let's say you're a mother and the father or vice versa is abusing, there's maybe sexual abuse, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, then you can cover all the children. So there is a quota, but the quota doesn't work the same way. So it's actually pretty good provisions. There are other considerations. There are T visas, there are asylum, but asylum, let's say you have to have fear of persecution. If you file a frivolous asylum, is a permanent bar from benefiting from anything, even if you marry Mr. America. So basically, you have to make sure you don't fall into loopholes. Somebody tells you just apply, so you're going to be okay. No, that could be maybe completely prevent you from benefiting anything. If you are married to someone who has green citizenship, you can get a conditional residency until you become a permanent resident. So that could be an option. Again, whether you entered legally or illegally matters in this case. If you entered illegally, then if you are not 245I, nobody applied for you in the past, you can grandfather an old petition from some other petition, you won't benefit from it. So there are a restriction to that. Cancellation of removal for people who came here. This is for people who don't have status. If you've been here for 10 years, you can, it shows some of the things you shouldn't have, certain crimes conviction. And then this has to be done before an immigration judge. So the attorney has to put you before that. And that itself is difficult these days. CJIS, you have heard about that. The special immigrant juvenile status are for kids under 21. That provision is still available. You have to show that the child has been either abused, neglected, or abandoned. So one parent or both. So once they apply through probate court, family court, dependency court, all these courts can issue that. They have their own form. Once you get that, then you can apply, send it to the immigration, and immigration basically process you for getting deferred action, and then you get a green card. However, as of June 6th, 2020, as of June 6th of this year, unfortunately, as of June 6th, they are not issuing deferred action anymore. So what they're doing is you go to court, you tell the court, Your Honor, this child has been neglected or abandoned. The judge says, okay, I find a finding that this judge is, this kids should be protected party. Signing the document, make a finding. You get that piece of document, you go file it with immigration, and then you're waiting to get a work authorization or whatever you need and get deferred action. Well, now, as of June 6th or 16, I forgot right now. So they are not doing that anymore. So what happens to these children? Pretty much they're in no man's land because they don't have deferred action. What is deferred action? Deferred action is you are receiving, I had all these acronyms, but I think it's not in the slide right now. So deferred action is when you are, your body is here, they're letting you to be here, but you're deportable. You don't have an immigrant status. You don't have a non-immigrant status. You don't have any status. So the immigration says, I'm just not going to defer, I'm going to defer deporting you at this time. So I'm letting you to stay. You see that with DACA. They are also getting deferred action. So I'm letting you stay here. So when they don't extend that, as it happens right now, they are not issuing new ones. When you file one, then the person doesn't have that permission. So then it's a problem right now. And frankly, I don't know how to solve that. Oh, I think this is keep going, right? Okay. Thank you. So there is, so CJIS is an option, but right now they're not issuing it. It's similar to DACA. There are other option, adoption. Many families don't want to look into that option, but it may be the only option. Independent adoption. You can still have communication and contact, sign an agreement with the adoptive parents, so you are in your child's life and have a relationship. This is if you need to and you think this is the best way to protect your children who are here, who were born here, and you're undocumented, but they are not and they don't want to go, or you don't know where you're going to go tomorrow if you're deported. So that would be an option for you. There are different kind. I don't have time to go over them, but those are the option. And right now, usually when you do adoption, it has to be evaluated. And we have problem right now regarding whether the social services, they accept children who are from different countries, and they are not accepting the third country adoption in the same way they used to. So that is one problem, but there are ways around for people who are qualified. Again, we don't have enough time for me to go through all the aspects of it. By the way, adoption is a private process. It means that while you file it with the court, they cannot get your information and your home address, everything from court file. It's not open and public available. While guardianship is available. So it's a public record. Guardianship is an option. It happens in probate court. And you give another third party to adopt your child. That is only if you feel that you have no option, I guess. And after 2 years, they can adopt the child. You can always consent to all this, to adoption, as well as to guardianship. There are forms that you sign. And again, it states there's more information here. AB 495 is a bill that it's new. It actually addresses the issue that our speaker at the beginning mentioned, whereby if an ICE officer comes in and wants a document, they are not required to give them. They have to go through the process. It mandates the school district to go through a process. Also, you can appoint a third party to assist you with your child. So you authorize them to do so. So there's a notarized form. Under 6552 Family Code, you can authorize a family member, which they are pretty much broad, to look after your child regarding school and medical. Doesn't have to be notarized, but I suggest that seriously to do so. 495 broaden the definition to include non-relative extended family members. So in a way, similar to provision under 6910. And this form, you have to notarize it. So if you want to see what it looks like, I brought a copy. I will provide that to our organizers. Also, the memo regarding CJS that they're no longer issuing deferred. So I know you may have a lot of questions. Time really doesn't permit me, but if you would like to ask me questions, you are more than welcome. I can stay here and answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Faith. Next, we have our consultant that we work with through our district office, and the next topic is empowering parents. So we have Danielle Nava to present for us. Thank you, Danielle. Big button. Big button in the middle. Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I too am a parent. I grew up in Fullerton. My child goes to Fullerton School District school, and he's in second grade this coming time. My parents live in a neighborhood where there are bulletins that go out that says ICE is down the way. My mom has a caregiver, and she was telling me, I'm so sorry I was late a few minutes today because I was too afraid to have my dad drive me over. Her dad's a citizen. He's monolingual. And he's not afraid, but she's afraid. She's afraid of all of the news that we're hearing. So I want to thank you for being here. You're not invisible. Your strength, your bravery, your love and courage, we see you. And while I'd love to say that we walk in your shoes, that's almost impossible and maybe even insulting to say, because while I have empathy and compassion, I don't know what it's like to walk in your shoes. But please know that all of my colleagues that spoke today and our attorney here, our guest attorney, the work that we're doing is because we truly care about our students and our families. My presentation is titled, I see, as equity and immigration or something, but there's nothing really equitable about what is happening to us. I'm sharing this with you because Orange County is ranked the 20th most diverse in the country. Out of the 150 US largest regions, we're 20th. We have 3.2 million people. We have no single Out of 3.2 million, we have no single group making up the majority of the population. So it's hard not to feel like there are personal targets. We recognize that. As I speak with families and I speak with students, that's often a question of why us? And it's many. Those stories belong to many people. But I wanted to let you know that while this might feel like something that just you and your family are facing, that we as a community are supportive. And we're also, anyone who says that we're not affected because we ourselves are not affected is missing what is happening in our backyards, our front yards, down the street, and in our neighbors' homes. So I was asked to invite you to think about what are some ways that you can still host community. And I invite you to think about ways to not isolate or to live in silence. Our children see so much of your strength and so much of your courage and bravery that we want to make sure that we help you support that during uncertain times, they also see your courage and your bravery, and that they see the support and community that you have built around you. I always tell my kid this because someone told me this: look for the helpers. And I find that that is really important in a place where it feels like folks who are supposed to be helping other human beings, it doesn't feel that way. So if you look around this room, you'll see many helpers here that are here to support your student. Even if a student is not directly affected, but just worried, concerned, we're here. Having friends and neighbors that we trust, even getting connected to folks that are here in the room. We have lots of support staff that are here. Your principals are allies. They can also be confidants. So finding trusted folks that are in your community and even at your child's school is really important and key. Dr. Hammett talked about having an emergency contact sheet that you're going to be filling out. I would encourage you to have one that is for you as well. One that has if you have an attorney, your school name and your principal name and the phone number and the address, the doctors for your child and for you, local consulate, and any other supporting organizations like Resilience OC and Chirla, who have a ton and a variety of folks who are able to help and support. You can find them online. You can also call them. Actually, I'm going to give you Chirla's number and Resilience OC. Chirla's number is 888-624-4752. And Resilience OC, which is based in Costa Mesa, 714-605-5626. Those numbers are really important. They're tried and true and trusted within communities. And then finally, any trusted legal help. Not notarios, because those are other kinds of support, but we're looking for actual legal support. Did we give out red cards today, Erlinda?
Have to talk into the microphone. They have additional information. They're a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. And then the blue cards also have more information for us, and what to do, who to call if somebody is detained. So these are very important cards to have with you. And we have additional ones as well.
I'm going to quickly just let you see here that to report ICE activity in your area, folks might say, oh, I don't want to do that. But folks are finding it very helpful for the reasons, again, that Dr. Hammett had mentioned. Even us as a school district are going to be letting parents know when there is ICE activity in the area for your protection, for your information. You can find more information for California and county specific on Report ICE. There's a trusted legal area. And when we send out this information, you'll have the links to these. And then, of course, know your rights, your red cards, which you can also print out and supply to your own neighbors who maybe are not getting out and not hearing this message. Okay. Our time together was short, but I humbly thank you for taking time to be with us and to also accept the help that we're offering. Thank you so much.
Okay. And our last presenter, we have supporting our families, one of our community members, Ms. Gabby Garcia from OC United. She's going to be going over resources that we have throughout the city and through OC United. Ms. Gabby.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Un placer estar aquí con ustedes. Trabajo en OSO United y déjenme. Okay. Por los últimos 10 años hemos servido a la ciudad de Fullerton, pero nos hemos extendido a más partes, Anaheim, Santana, y hemos estado apoyando a América Latina, Colombia, Guatemala, México, con entrenamientos para orfanatos, padres adoptivos, biológicos y temporales. Nuestra misión es conectar, equipar y transformar. Sorry, I forgot. Es que me siento tan bien hablando en español. Sorry, Dr. Blake. Our mission is to connect, equip, and transform. How do we connect with the community? Accept the community in the way that it is. No matter the age, is a child, a teen, a grandparent, single mom, whoever comes. We equip them. We have ESL classes in the building. We had the main offices here close by, and we have this community center and Gilbert and Orange-Thorpe. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. We just give away food to like 70 families. Then have patience with me. Then all personal information remains confidential. No information will be released without a court order. We, as Fullerton School District doesn't require legal documentation. We don't care. When people they come for food, they ask, what do I need? And they are getting the idea. You don't need anything. Just put your name and your phone number. If you don't want to put it, don't put it. Awareness. This is one of the most important conversations we have with the community to protect themselves. Don't expose. Do not drink and drive. Continue with your life. Continue with your life. As Low Korea congressman said, don't be afraid. It is so normal to be afraid. I am nervous. I am stressed. But I need to continue living. I need to continue working. I need to continue learning, going to school, doing my job. And it is so good that we have Miss Faith here with you. She did a really good presentation to the community, and she's really good answering questions. Then you can call her. And we are not alone. One of the things like I feel so comfortable is how Fullerton School District and OC United, we are partnership together, making plans, sitting with Dr. Reese, Conseller Fonseca, how we are gonna get donations, food donations in this time, how we are gonna get to those houses. But also I encourage families to, if your neighbor is, you haven't seen the neighbor for a while, go and knock on the door. I was one of them for so many years. I just got my citizenship, but I can celebrate it. Not right now. In the Gilbert Community Center, we have 3 days high school. They do fun activities. The program, the director, Caleb Parker, he's an amazing person. We love them. And it doesn't matter if they are disrespectful. We are prepared for that. Yes, that's one of the things we are going to be talking about. We have domestic abuse and sexual assault support groups. I am certified by the state of California, but also we are going to have 2 ladies, one for Woodcrest and one for Valencia Park. They are taking the training right now, and we are going to be able to have more support groups. Then any domestic violence you hear, you can call us. ESL classes Monday to Thursday in the Gilbert Community Center through the semester. We partnership with NOCE. that the student had a student number and they can continue transfer to college. Then we are not just gonna stay there. We have health and wellness class every Friday, 9 to 10:30, because now we have food distributions on Friday, 12 p.m. We are serving a lot, 120, 150 families, individual, I think more than 500. Then it is a lot of work. That's why I am tired, but I'm here and happy to be here. Then workshops. We are trained in trauma. This shirt you see is from TCU on Texas University, a TBRI, trust-based relation intervention. When these come up to my life, my healing journey started 10 years ago. Now it's my duty to bring that healing to my community. We do interventions with adoptive parents, foster parents, biological parents, those parents that they don't understand the behavior or the teen. We do, and we can give you tools, we can give you resources, and we can be with you all along the way. We have abuelitos in the community center, and we can use this model. That means this model is expanded in so many countries in Latin America that we can travel to Colombia, Guatemala. I just got from there, and we are gonna go to Mexico to support the orphanages. Rosarito, we went in May, and we are still supporting the caregivers. That means here at home is where we are more intentional. We are expanding, but our communities are the priority. Then any question, you can ask me, but thank you so much. And in this time, this model or understand behavior and trauma, it is helping. We are able to equip our parents to disarm fear, to be brave, to continue living, and do not let this administration define who we are. Because we are great, we are teachers, we are doctors, we are lawyers, we are trainers, we are parents, and we are an amazing people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabby. You speak the truth all the time. So here are some additional resources for you if you'd like to take a picture of this. Additional immigration legal resources. Some of them are free, but offices that are here to help and serve. This is a great opportunity for you to get some information as well as those cards that we passed out. We'll have some of these offices here with us too at our health fair right now. Take a look at this one too. A lot of information with links that we have there. Another good picture. And then close to home at the Nicholas Community Center that is hosting with OCSSA office, the health fair that we have here. All of our information is there. We have counselors available through our telehealth appointments that we have. We still have our immigration on Thursdays with Camino here helping us out with that as well through our Nicholas Community Center. And then that is all a very hot day today that we had. We truly appreciate you being here.